About 3 years ago, I came across a video by one of my favorite YouTubers at the time, Aaron Doughty, titled Ho'oponopono Meditation, the most powerful healing meditation ever. At the time, I was recently homeless. I had been 24, 25, and had ended up living with my parents again for about 9 months to a year. And I was struggling to be able to find a place to live. And being that I was sleeping on a friend's couch as I discovered this healing meditation, I had nothing left to lose. And so I committed to doing the practice of Ho'oponopono for 21 days. And while I was doing this practice, I started to notice different phrases, different excuses that I had been making over the course of the last year that had come up in various conversations whenever I would talk about why I hadn't found a place yet. I would come up with all these excuses, here in Washington State, it's just too expensive to live. The cost of living has gone up. It hasn't matched the cost of wages going up. Even though I had a decent paying job, I didn't feel like I could afford to find a one bedroom or a studio apartment for myself. I didn't want to have roommates, and it felt like the only way it was going to be affordable is if I rented a 2 or 3 bedroom and got roommates. I would say stuff like, maybe if I had a significant other and we were splitting the rent, it would be feasible. All of these phrases popped into my head while I would practice this mantra-based meditation. About 5 days into the practice of Ho'oponopono, I came across a Facebook post for my favorite band playing at a concert called Michigan Metal Fest in Battle Creek, Michigan. This sparked a thought about an old friend of mine from high school who I had noticed every other Facebook post he made was something along the lines of Battle Creek this, Battle Creek that. On a whim, I decided to message him, asking him if he'd be caught dead at the concert, just kind of joking around with the idea of going to see the concert just because I'd seen the concert poster, and a coincidence, I couldn't help but, I believe coincidences are more than just coincidences. I believe they are synchronicities, not coincidences. And he messaged me back saying, probably not, but if you would like to stay with me for the weekend, I've got a spare bedroom you could have for the weekend, and it would be cool to see you again. The next day, he ended up messaging me again, essentially explaining that he had talked to his boyfriend, and if I ever got a wild hair and decided I wanted to move to Michigan, he would rent me the spare bedroom on the cheap for about 6 months and help me find a job and get on my feet there in Michigan. I took the leap of faith. I ended up selling my car, using the money to buy a plane ticket and to pay for rent as well as concert tickets. And a month and a half later, I was watching my favorite band, Hed PE, take the stage at Michigan Metal Fest. Aaron said in that video that if you really can do this practice for 21 days, it will dramatically change your life. And I can say without a doubt that the practice of Ho'oponopono has dramatically changed my life. Since then, I spent a year in Michigan where I went through so many different experiences. I got to really come out of my shell. One of the things I always enjoyed doing as a youth was singing. I always wanted to be able to do something like karaoke. It turns out that the boyfriend also loved singing, and we had a bar that was about a mile away from where I was staying in Michigan that did karaoke nights every Wednesday. And so for a good portion of time while I was in Michigan, I got to go out to the bars and sing karaoke once a week. I got to practice singing. I had this just environment that was conducive to the growth that I needed. I now find myself back in Washington State and have recently gone through another bat of being homeless. I spent 7 weeks living in my car, sleeping in my work's parking lot while I was looking for a new place. And I just so happened to find the perfect place for me and my dogs. And I can't help but feel like this practice of Ho'oponopono has been integral to my experience.